If you have been spinning your wheels trying to figure out how to make this whole getting clients online thing click, I feel you. I have been in your shoes for nearly a decade, and I feel like we just cracked the code, because I went from earning about 6 figures a year this time last year to earning 6 figures per month now today, April 2025. We crossed another big month. This is a triple digit month. The first time my team and I have gotten to triple digits when it comes to revenue and sales. And so I wanted to reflect and unpack, and as always, document the process and reflect on the lessons that helped us get here, because this is a quantum leap within 1 year to, take a annual salary and make it our monthly revenue. Invited my husband out into the porch. Again, we are traveling. I promised to bring you guys along for this quarter that is full of travel. We are in Mexico, and I wanted to celebrate and also, as I said, share with you all how we got here and the things that didn't work, the things that I had to leave behind as a coach, and the things that I picked up as now the CEO of a coaching company. So for those of you who are new, I'm Hannah. I'm the CEO of Dream Life Consulting, where we help coaches and experts and consultants scale using our same systems for lead generation and sales. And so if you are wondering where your next client is coming from or where your next big financial break is going to come from, then listen up, because I'm sharing with you what's working for us. Cheers to growth. Let's get into the celebration, eavesdrop a bit on my husband and I as we show you the systems and the strategies that got us here. Salud.
Salud.
I guess I kind of did think it might feel something like this. Look something like this, knowing us.
Yeah, is this what you envisioned on your way to 100K?
I have to say, kind of. I think the emotion within me is different than I thought it would feel. I thought I would feel different, but it very much so feels like another week, another morning of meetings, doing this, like in the system. So the feeling is different, but yeah, I do think I thought it would.
Yeah.
I would hoped it would be at a beautiful new beach town.
Cool.
Why not?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
6 figures. How'd you do it? Tell me how you did it.
In 1 month. In 1 month. I mean, how long was 6 figures the annual goal? Even before I was a coach, I mean, I never would have thought. Yeah, it's a little bit mind-boggling, because even my first jobs, like the first job I took, $24,000 annually. My second job, which I had to go full-time, I didn't get the summers off. I had to go full-time, and I got $36K for the year. And now we're sitting here talking about hitting the goal 6 figures in 1 month. So I did not do it by being my old self and taking academic salaries. That's for sure.
Yeah. What path did you take? What's going on?
Yeah. So we've documented like other pieces, other milestones. And so the amazing thing about this is that it was really nothing different. It has been the compound effect. And I want to be honest about that, because there are some coaches or marketing gurus out here who are like, oh, I had a 6-figure launch, or I made 100K in 5 minutes, or overnight, or with one shiny object. And this has been like a year and a half in the making. And so this is also why it doesn't feel that different, because so much of this is compound effect of the systems and the strategies and the energy that we've been bringing since last year to be here now.
Okay, so the system in place. Can you tell me a little bit more about the system before I jump into kind of mindset, but just kind of give people an understanding of what we're talking about?
I would love to, because the system and the mindset go hand in hand. And because I have been looking at this, we've had a 57K month and then 76K month. And I have been thinking about what is working. And so I can now say in hindsight that it's the mindset shift of acting like a CEO, thinking like a CEO, believing like a CEO, which is different than just a coach. And so the CEO piece, I decided to stop just being a coach and to be a CEO when I wanted to get to 7 figures and build something bigger than me. Because I knew what got me to 6 figures a year wasn't going to be what got us here. And it was a new identity of CEO. But then I also have, in hindsight, realized that same acronym, CEO, is also the system. So I do want to get into strategy and tactics and exactly what we've done to see CEO. And when I talk about the lead gen and sales strategy, it's connect, engage, offer, CEO. And we've just been doing those things week in and week out, seeing clients consistently to now be at the place where like the compound effect of being a CEO, working the CEO system has us at 112K for April 2025.
All right. So what did you do to connect?
Yes. Okay. Beautiful.
I'm going to dig into these CEOs.
Well, and I think this is exactly what people want to hear because there are so many like shiny objects out there. And we all know if you have a business, you need to connect it with buyers. You need to be in front of people. You need them to know that you exist. And so many coaches, including myself, think that it's just ads or a webinar or if I get a book out there, like these visibility things are all we need. And what I learned in nearly a decade of throwing spaghetti shiny objects at the wall and having an ad funnel and having an evergreen webinar and having a podcast and having, what else have I done? Open houses, like just all these things that I did. I realized that I needed to be growing more strategically, not just throwing spaghetti to my Instagram followers and email list, but bringing new people who actually had the problems that I solved. I've spent so much time trying to market to people who know, like, and trust me, but don't have the problems we solve. And so we have now developed over the last few years our own software on LinkedIn. And so honestly, all of these sales, all of these clients have come from LinkedIn. No social media, no events, no networking, no knocking on doors, no ads. It's all come from connecting with people who I know have this problem on LinkedIn.
So that
to grow my audience there.
So LinkedIn is how you connect.
Yes.
And you engage via LinkedIn.
Yes.
Curious, are you engaging with them on LinkedIn? Like, what is your experience in there? Because a CEO
I know.
In the weeds, I don't know.
Systems, baby. It's like I want people to think that I'm messaging them and I'm showing up to LinkedIn every single day and I'm writing a post and I'm sending messages and I'm booking calls. And I did that for like 6 weeks myself. Because I had to learn, I know principles of art of conversation. I know marketing 101. Like, I know how to have a DM conversation, but that is not me. I can't be doing that long term, especially now to be fulfilling on this many clients. No, I am not the one reaching out to people on LinkedIn. I am not the one reviewing profiles, but I have a system and team members now who are commission only. And that was another scary thing for me. It's like, okay, all these other connection strategies are like, go pay for ads. And like I've heard mentors say, like ads are a great idea if you have $5K to burn. Because you just put $5,000 into Zuckerberg's pocket and you hope some people see your quiz funnel. And so I now only pay for lead gen on commission. I don't pay a copywriter to just write for the sake of writing. I don't even write for the sake of writing. All of our posts are just... And the posts really aren't even part of the lead gen strategy. I do that now, and so people think I'm on LinkedIn every single day because I post and I send messages and I have conversations, but it's system and commission-based team members.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Which leads me to offer.
First. CEO. So that was just the E.
And you're engaging,
And you're right. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing about LinkedIn. I mean, this is true of any platform. You can take these marketing principles anywhere. It's like, you need to connect. Back in the day, salesmen would knock on your door. People now think it's ads or these other things. But then the next thing you need to do after you get connected with people is nurture them, educate, and engage them. So the E does have quite a few things going on, but it's really all accomplished in one 50-minute Google Doc video. If you have not seen yet, you can go see what I'm talking about. This is what has made us hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, maybe even $1 million. I don't do the numbers on this.
Is that the VSL?
Our manifesto, exactly. It's a video sales letter, another acronym, VSL, for CEOs to know. But what we're doing now is we're just simply handing over this video. I shot it once over a year ago, and now people can watch it anytime. I don't have to be live for that webinar. I don't have to fly to Mexico to be in the room with people. I get to, right, from a place of abundance and from a very different energy than looking for clients. So this Evergreen Manifesto is a sales asset, and it's literally me in a Google document just talking through our solution. And so many people appreciate this because it isn't the other kind of nurturing scams that are like, okay, I got you in my quiz funnel. Now I'm going to send you 47 emails. Okay, I got you into my event. Now I'm going to try to get you to like book a call with my team. Okay, I met you at a networking event. Now I'm going to call you 7 times to follow up.
Feels kind of salesy.
The whole point, and I knew that this was going to be true for the people we worked with because they're smart, jaded. They know how marketing works. People want to sell to them all the time. And so we had to do something that set us apart. And so this manifesto is, again, just something that we hand out because I know, especially if I'm going to be growing a new audience, we have over 100 new connections on LinkedIn thanks to our system. They don't just fall in love with me by reading my profile. Now, some people do. We know we have people reach out who just like see the profile because it's optimized. But then we want to make sure that they get value. And this is all an energetic exchange, especially for coaches. You need people to like experience your magic and see what you're actually talking about. And so this is where a lot of coaches will hand out free discovery calls. And they'll connect, and then they'll say, let's have a free discovery call. They'll do some free coaching. But for the level that I wanted to play at, again, I'm not here to just have coffee chats and network and let's see how it goes. I needed to make sure that the people who I was going to invite to a conversation with me knew I wanted to talk about business. I wanted to help them. I'm having a client prospecting conversation and not get stuck in the friend zone.
Yeah, and with the VSL, it's a filter in itself, right? Because people will see it and be like, oh, I'm not ready for that, or that's not the way I want to go with my business.
Right. Like I just show, like, this is what my lifestyle looks like. This is a day in the life. I show them everything so that they can decide for themselves. Do they want to be, do they want to continue? I call this pull marketing instead of push marketing. Push marketing would be like, this is my webinar, buy now, urgency, sales pages, whatever. That's push, that's bro-y, that's repels more people, I think, than it attracts. So you have to play a really big volume and numbers and funnel game. Whereas what we're doing is we're just trying to pull the people in who are like, yes, those are my problems. Yes, I would love to have it solved that way. This is how we create my people. For a long time I wanted to hand select and only work with elite people who got my jokes or whatever. And now I get to do that qualifying in the manifesto, in the video sales letter, VSL.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So some people do cancel, which is great, because then they don't waste our time when we get to the O, which is making offers.
Where I was going next. Get into it. Yeah,
so the O stands for offers. And look, if you want to make money, you have to be making offers. I remember one of my first mentors, Jack Canfield, would have us do a list of 5 people. And it's just like, reach out to 5 people. Like, you can't sell books if you don't offer books. He's got like over 150 New York Times best-selling books, and it's because he asks people to buy books all the time. And so if you want to have clients, you have to be making offers and seeing if people want to work with you. And so after people are connected with us, they get engaged with our Evergreen sales asset, then we do invite, and this really is more of an application. And that's another big shift from being a coach to being a CEO, where a coach just kind of takes whatever like referral will come, and like, okay, if you want me to coach your sister, I'll do it for $50 an hour. I also have these like kids that I coach triathlon to it. Like, we just do whatever as a coach.
It's kind of messy.
Making up different offers all the time for different people. But what we are doing now is really offering the full solution. And in our offer, of course, there's like sales that goes into it, but there's so many less sales tactics that coaches need. You don't need to handle objections. You don't need to, yes, you need to have them know, like, and trust you, but you don't have to move through the like, get to their bleeding neck. I'm just throwing out sales jargon that I know coaches believe in or think they have to buy into.
Make them sweat, make them nervous, pressure
Twist the
sales,
needle.
like all that kind of stuff. And it's just a little more laid back.
Right. I mean, that's literally the energy that I use and I even coach our sales team to use now is sit back energy, because we're connecting with the right people. We educate them in the right direction. Our offers, these are really just conversations about, do you want our solution? I laid out the problems we solved.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a conversation. And so we come to the O. And I mean, we do track sales and close rates because that's essential at the volume and the level that we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have at least 3 times closing rate as my mentor, who makes $1 million a month. We have a 3 times higher sales close rate than them because it's an easy yes. By the time people get to us, they're already sold. It's just, how is this going to fit for you?
Yeah, and how can I pay for it? How can I make time for this?
And then sure, right? Like making it work in their life, personalizing it, making sure they are the good fit, and time and money goes into that conversation. But it's not from a place of like, should I trust you? I don't know. I'm going to shop around.
Yeah.
It's just like,
those are all given.
It's rational logistical sales.
Logical.
Logic. Because of the manifesto, because of the other things that we do along the CEO way. So that's the system.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Confidence. This is what we have. Take it or leave it.
I'm not trying to sell it to everyone. I'm trying to sell it to a few. And this is also why we can be at 100K with less than 100 clients. And I mean, this wasn't some big volume thing. This is like, we work with 5 to 10 clients per month, and then that adds up. And one day you're sitting at the beach talking about how you have 6 figures.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned
Process
that you're not going after every client. Was that a shift for you, going from coach to CEO? What was that like?
Yeah. I remember thinking, like, as a coach, like, I would just want everyone to be my client. Even a new LinkedIn connection.
I can help them. I can help them. I know I can help them.
Totally.
Yeah.
And there were times that I was in, like, financial scarcity. And so I would want to literally shake people out of the bushes or try to send something out. Like, okay, let me quick get a lead magnet out, or let me quick host an event because I need something. I need someone to manifest. I need a client to fall from the sky. I need 50 grand to show up at my front door.
Attraction. Yeah.
And that's not how you attract, right? And so it is this like sit back energy. I don't rely on one launch or one website or one thing to solve my problems or get me a client, but rather I'm thinking every single week, how do I create more ideal clients? And that's the difference between a coach and a CEO. A CEO thinks about systems and process. A coach is just like in the weeds, like, where's my client? Like squirrel brain. CEO gets up on the perch of the tree and starts looking at, okay, do more of what works. That's marketing 101. Figure out what works and do more of it. So for me, it was like, okay, as a coach, I know if they experience my magic in something like a discovery call, they can become clients. Mm-hmm. But I can't keep exchanging time for money. One-to-one is going to burn me out, even just in the sales perspective. So I had to start thinking like a CEO, how do I go from one-to-one, have them experience my magic, one-to-many? Okay, I'm going to need it to be evergreen. Evergreen meaning they can see it anytime. Literally, we had 10 people watch it today while I was at the beach, and we had 4 calls booked. Because I started thinking like a CEO, not how can I host another webinar and waste another month of my life trying to figure out the tech of that, but rather send the YouTube link, see if it resonates as a CEO.
Hitting the easy button.
Systematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, leverage.
Great. All right, I got a few questions for you too. I couldn't remember all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to focus on CEO mindset.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a difference from coach to CEO, but I'm curious on your perspective.
Yeah.
What CEO level decisions did you have to make to hit that number? Like, were they painful? Were they no-brainers? What kind of Can you focus on one?
Absolutely. And this is the one I wish someone had framed it to me like this early, because I took the scenic route to realize that if I had just had this mindset shift, I think everything would have been easier making the shift from coach to CEO. And this is really about building something bigger than me. It was awkward to think about that because it kind of felt like I was setting aside my selfish goals for the sake of growing the company. I'm not the type that like sacrificed my health or like didn't sleep or didn't do anything. But I was coming from a place of a coach that was like, I want to make this amount of money. I want to buy a beach house. Mm-hmm. What's on my vision board that's like going to make Hannah feel good or accomplished? And the reason why I think I took like the scenic route to get there is because I have accomplished a lot of the things that I wanted. Like even I had to like go like, let me go like win a triathlon. Let me go like I moved to Mexico. I've done all these things off of the vision board because I kept thinking that the things that I thought I wanted is what's going to make me happy. But I got to a point as a coach that it was like, okay, I can make multi-six figures. I can kind of sit back, let this thing do its whatever. I can focus on my selfish goals. Mm-hmm. But that did get boring. It was comfortable until I ran out of money. But I had to embrace building something bigger than me. And it wasn't easy for me because I also knew I had seen how other people got to seven figures or how other people went from coach to something bigger. And they did sacrifice their lifestyle or their health,
and you were not
or the quality of their program, or like I just saw it as sacrifice. Like I was going to have to sacrifice my vision board and my energy. And so when I realized I'm going to build something bigger than me, but do it in my way. I mean, I know that this story resonates with people because it helps us make sales, and I talk about this in our manifesto, but I just couldn't do it like I had seen every other marketing guru talk about it. I couldn't just do more, right? That's like hustle bro advice. It's just like, okay, well, Hannah, you have some things working, so do more. I really had to have like my own little spiritual moment that said, what got me here is not what I want to keep doing, and it's not going to be what gets me to the next level. I need to, it's not like sacrifice my own selfish goals, but start thinking bigger than me.
It's questioning everything, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about material. Like, I know this headline is flashy, and of course, it's nice to have $100,000 in a month. But you gotta grow up from that. You gotta get beyond just like material accomplishments and realize I'm on a mission way bigger than my own vision board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I was thinking work smarter, not harder, right? Don't keep doing the same stuff harder, more.
Yeah.
Like,
it's about like impact and potency.
Yeah.
And so now I think, okay, I used to see so many clients one-on-one every single week. And like, that was the good relation. Like I enjoy one-on-one relationships. I love going deep with people. Mm-hmm. But now, because of the way I have made trainings and we've made standard operating procedures and resources for clients, like I make these videos, just like every week it compounds so that people do experience my magic. We have group calls. Like there's so many ways for people to experience my magic that doesn't require me just sitting on Zoom.
On one-on-ones.
Yep. But again, like that was comfortable and I felt like I was helping people and like selfishly that worked for my schedule. Mm-hmm. And then I had to do really painful things like schedule team calls instead. And at the time I had one-on-ones, and now we're going to have team calls and they're in the morning and I don't like meetings. But then that's what helped me get out of just being on meetings all the time. Again, sit on that perch like a CEO, have team meetings, look at the assets you've made. Now team is like my best clients where I do invest in them so then they can go show clients how to use the system. Like you have to let go. Like I liked having one-on-ones.
Investing in team.
Yeah. Okay. So, but now I can find that same fulfillment in working with team. And then it's like this trickle down. I know that's not a great phrase, but me being unselfish enough to say I'm going to help clients in a one-on-one fashion and build the program and teach team all at one time is what I think I know that's a big thing of why we quantum leaped from this time last year being at 6 figures a year to now being at 6 figures a month.
Yeah. And what does your life look like from before and after?
Okay, well here's the crazy thing. This is my favorite part maybe, realizing this outside, like saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Is that I have so much more white space in my calendar. There was the phase, we called it grad school, of like, okay, Hannah, you're going to have your old business of having clients one-on-one on your calendar. That was like good and full and fine of a business.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're also going to add on that you're building a program, right? Like I was documenting things. I wasn't just like, I was doing it in a one-on-one call with old clients. And then I was like, I'm sick of repeating this to everyone. I'm going to go record this. Mm-hmm. And then I uploaded those modules. So then new clients could just, hey, I'm not going to repeat myself on a one-on-one. Go watch this, then bring it to me. So I had one-on-ones. I was building the program. I was starting group calls. I was also like making this manifesto. Like I had to take the grad school 5 months to say, I'm going to take on classroom work. I'm going to take on an internship. I'm going to take on this person's bull crap. Like I took on so much at once. But I know that short period of, maybe it is sacrifice. Like, it was me doing a lot more work for 5 months.
It was investment.
To now only have, like, leverage things on my calendar. And by leverage, I mean not one-to-ones, but everything is one-to-many. So team, we have groups and systems for accountability throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
Clients, they can access me one-on-one, but it's not my calendar that they're booking time on. They're using the system. They're using voice memos. They're coming to group calls. They're using the worksheet feedback features and just getting to work. Because we were all just sitting and talking for an hour on Zoom, and now I'm like, I can tell you what to do in 5 minutes, go do that thing, get the result, come back later today. Like, don't wait a week for our next one-on-one. It's just like everything is flowing with so much more leverage, and I have way less meetings on my calendar so that we can be, doing beautiful things like this.
Taking more action.
Strategic, right? Like building towards something, not just spinning.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, congratulations on your first 100,000.
Yeah. And I think the other big takeaway that I would say is, we've said this before, but as a CEO, it's not about, like you said, working smarter, not harder, but you don't know how to do that when you're on the field. That's a nice thing to say, and all these mindset isms that are use your zone of genius, charge for your expert price, all that stuff does not make sense when you are thinking like a coach. When you're running down here just looking for clients and thinking getting clients is your only problem.
Mm-hmm.
A CEO...
Does it make more sense to you now as a CEO?
What?
What you just said. It doesn't make sense for a coach. Does it make more sense as a CEO now?
Yes, because you're not just reacting, and it's not just the fire. It's just, what I was going to say is getting to the perspective of a CEO and looking systematically, am I growing? Am I connecting with new people? Yes or no? If you're not doing that, then, well, no wonder you don't know where your next client is. So connect. Where are you getting in front of more of the right people every single week? Mm-hmm. Then, okay, am I nurturing them? Am I engaging and educating? Am I creating ideal clients for myself?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then you can't be frustrated. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Yes, you can manifest, but if you want something consistent, are you, CEO, thinking about how do I create more of what I want?
Yeah.
And then with the offer, I have videos on sales, but I think the big thing that I had to change from coach to CEO around the offer and that being able to be in that sit back energy.
Yep.
Is actually giving them what they need, the full solution. Not just trying to sell, okay, I'll help you for 3 months with your hormones, or okay, I'll copyright for you for this long. These little things we think are offers. And then we change it every 6 months when we think, okay, maybe I should do a mastermind instead of this. Just solve the problem that you know how to solve. And I kept trying to change the offer, and a CEO looks at it and is like, we can't have different offers for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that coach, that one-on-one, putting out fires, being on the field mindset, zooming, taking a flight, 30,000 feet view, how does a CEO think about actually running a business?
Yeah.
That mindset was huge for me.
Yeah, that's the big shift from being a coach to running a business. CEO. Very exciting.
Yeah. And then one more thing that I want to say just about the number, because again, it's flashy and people want to know, and is that even possible? I also just want to say that I was able to get here with so much ease, and we went to 3 countries this month. So we went to 3 countries this month while also having our best month ever.
Yeah.
I got less meetings than ever. All of these things grow together.
Yeah.
It's not about just the number on the screen. It's about me being willing to ask the question, how do I get there and travel the world and have Fridays off and actually get people what they need? Have those stipulations, be stubborn in that way. Don't give up when it doesn't work a few strategies. I've spent a decade testing and iterating, but a CEO thinks about sustainability, longevity, lifestyle. And you've got to find the strategy and the system that is going to help this happen month in and month out, not just a big launch or, okay, hopefully my website gets a few clients. Holistic. Just like we do with every other thing we teach our people how to do. It's a holistic life, being, mindset change.
Yeah.
And systems will process goals, putting it into a process.
Yeah, the systems have been in place now for a year.
Yes.
And all these places you mentioned were all these travel places. This is all that just happens. Like, we're invited to a wedding. We're invited by someone. We're invited all these places.
From a place of abundance, we can say
while the system's running. So it's pretty amazing.
Dream life is real life.
Cheers.
Of all times to not have our koozies.
No, we got to get more koozies.